We have some breaking news this evening, Thursday, March 5th, 2026, around 11 p.m. East Coast time. A few hours ago, we learned from CNN, and this can be cross checked across different publications, that the Justice Department has posted an FBI interview memo related to the Trump sex abuse allegations. This is a brand new document that was just recently released by the DOJ on the official DOJ website. I'm going to provide you with the document number, and then I'm going to read the allegations related to Donald Trump. This is a 10-page document, so I do recommend you go to the Department of Justice website, download this document. As we know, they have been removing files, and keep it handy. On my page, mental health comes first. So if you are not in the headspace to hear these allegations, please make sure you save this video and come back to it later, or scroll on. I am also going to request that anyone that is listening to this in the presence of minors do the same. This is document number EFTA 02858481, which you can find on the Justice Department website. I also want to note before I start reading that this date up in the corner is August 22nd, 2019. If you're following along as I'm reading, I'm starting at the end of page 7 where Trump is first mentioned, and I also want to mention that anywhere I say the word blank is something that has been redacted. It says blank recalled at least one incident in which Epstein took her off of the island when she was between 13 to 15 years old. He drove her and or flew her to either New York or New Jersey. She was, quote, introduced to someone with money. It was Donald Trump. Blank and Epstein were with others, to include Trump, in a very tall building with huge rooms. Trump did not like blank. And there's a quote. It says, from the get-go, he didn't like that I was a boy girl, referencing tomboy. Blank could not recall the identities of the other individuals present. However, they all exited when Trump asked everyone to leave the room. Trump mentioned something to the effect of, quote, let me teach you how little girls are supposed to be. Trump unzipped his pants and put Blank's head, quote, down to his penis. Blank, quote, bit the shit out of it. Trump struck Blank and said words to the effect of, quote, get this little bitch the hell out of here. Blank advised she bit Trump's penis because he disgusted her. And then it says, quote, he had money. It reeked off of him. At that point, people re-entered the room. No further information was provided. Blank recalled a blonde, beautiful woman approaching her at some point that day after her interaction with Trump. The woman said, quote, let me give you a tip, little girl, about your breasts. Wear a bra every night. Those words have stayed with her throughout the years. Blank got the feeling the relationship between Epstein and Trump included a certain amount of jealousy. She thought Trump appeared jealous of Epstein, but at some point they ended up on level playing fields. Trump and Epstein sometimes used the terms, quote, fresh meat, quote, untainted, and, quote, not jaded, while referring to little girls. At the time she heard it, Blank did not understand the term, quote, not jaded. She subsequently looked up the word jaded. Blank stated she had 2 additional interactions with Trump, but she asked that the interview move on to a different subject for the time being. Then we have to jump to the very last page. This is on page 10 where Trump is mentioned again. It says Epstein talked about blackmailing people in front of Blank. Blank was confident Trump knew Epstein blackmailed people because she heard Epstein and Trump talking about it. Blank stated she knew Trump had illegal building permits. She heard of him, in parentheses Trump, talking about washing money through casinos. Number 6 is Donald Trump's favorite number. Blank was not sure how she knew that, but she had heard it at one point. Blank stated that Epstein's blackmailing of her mother, quote, ruined my family. Blank asked the agents to keep her safe, stating, quote, throughout my life, his, being Epstein's people, found me, have kept tabs on me. And that is the end of the document. I'm just going to let the survivor's words speak for themselves. There's no analysis to add here. I was interested, though, in the idea that Donald Trump's favorite number is 6. And in some brief research, I couldn't find much other than the fact that his famous penthouse in New York City in Trump Tower is located on the 66th floor. If anyone else has any insight to this, let us know in the comments. But yeah, this is where we are as a nation. Knowing all of this and not subpoenaing the president to have some sort of hearing to answer questions, it is a true sign of the dictatorship that we now live under.